Hello, and welcome to another episode of Math with Dr. War, where I create mini lessons for everything that's on the Tasc mathematics examination. So today's mini lesson is on adding and subtracting like fractions. And when I say like fractions, I mean that the denominators are the same. Now the rules or the steps to solving fractions with like denominators: you add or you subtract the numerators. Second step, you keep the denominator, and your last step is simplify if possible. Not every time will you need to simplify. And another thing, I'm also going to show you how to use the calculator as well. So I have 6 over 10 plus 3 over 10. So remember what the rules state. It said add or subtract your numerators. So we're adding, so this will be 6 plus 3. I'm going to keep my denominator 10. 6 plus 3 is 9 over 10. And there's my answer, 9 over 10. Now, can I go to step 3? Let's check. Now, 9 and 10 are already in their simplest form. The only number that can divide 9 and 10 evenly is 1. And if you divide by 1, your answer will still be 9 over 10. Okay, let's try a subtraction. So again, the rule states, subtract your numerators, keep the denominator. Okay, 6 minus 2 is 4. Over 7. Now, is there a number that would divide 4 and 7 evenly? Yes, there is. It's a 1. But if you divide by 1, your answer will remain 4 over 7. I have 1 over 6 plus 3 over 6. So remember, when the denominators are the same, you keep that. You add your numerators, 1 plus 3. That gives you 4 over 6. Can we simplify 4 over 6? Yes, we can. 4 and 6 are even numbers. Even numbers are divisible by 2. So anytime you have an even number, it's divisible by 2. So we're going to divide the top and the bottom by 2. Always remember, when you're simplifying or reducing a fraction, you must pick a factor that will divide both the numerator and the denominator. And the factor must be the same. Can't be two different numbers, must be the same number. 4 divided by 2 is 2. 6 divided by 2 is 3. So your answer is 2/3. 9 over 14, take away 2 over 14. So remember, I'm going to subtract my numerators. I'm going to keep my denominator. 9 minus 2 is 7 over 14. Is there a number that would divide 7 and 14 evenly? The answer is yes. Both of these numbers can be divided by 7. So 7 divided by 7 is 1. 14 divided by 7 is 2. So your answer is a half. Suppose you have mixed fractions. Mixed fractions are not that difficult. It's just an additional layer, like an onion. So we have whole number and a fraction. So I have 2 and 3 over 7 that I'm added to 1 and 2 over 7. So I'm going to add my whole numbers first. Now 2 plus 1 is 3. Then I'm going to add my numerators, which is 3 plus 2, which will give me 5. So let me put my 3 in first. Then I have my 5. And then always remember, we keep our denominators. So my answer is 3 and 5 over 7. If you're subtracting, the same thing, but your operation is different. So let's subtract the whole numbers. 2 minus 1 is 1. Then we're going to subtract our numerators, which is 4 minus 1. Okay, so that's my 1. That will give me 3. And remember, we keep our denominator, 6. Always check to see if you can reduce. So that will be 1. Now 3 and 6 are both divisible by 3. So your times table come in very handy here. 3 divided by 3 is 1, and 6 divided by 3 is 2. So your answer is 1 and a half. Now suppose you have to use your calculator. Let's get our calculator. So let's try the 6 over 10 plus the 3 over 10. Let's try to add that using a calculator. So with the calculator, the n over d is your fraction function. Now my students like to type the numerator in first, so we'll type 6. Then we press n over d. Notice the 6 goes in the numerator position, and notice that your cursor is blinking in the denominator position, and we're going to enter 10. Then we're going to go to the right. Now we're going to add 3, n over d. Then we're going to enter 10. Now always look to see where your cursor is located. It's in the denominator position. Need to get it out of there. So we're going to go to the right. Okay, notice it's blinking right there in the middle. That's where we want it. And your last step is to press enter. Notice we got 9 over 10. Let's try subtracting 9 over 14 minus 2 over 14. So again, 9 n over d. I'm going to enter my denominator, which is 14. Notice where your cursor is blinking. Go to the right. Okay, we're subtracting. And we have 2 n over d, 14, to the right, and we hit enter. And notice that your calculator simplifies it for you. Your answer is a half. Suppose you need a mixed fraction, you're going to need the second function button right here, because notice your mixed number is written in green at the top, which is the u n over d. So we need that for our mixed number. So just as before, I'm going to enter my whole number. Okay, so I'm going to enter 2, second function n over d. Now notice when I press second function n over d, I am creating my mixed fraction. So I'm going to enter 3 for the numerator. I'm going to have to come down because I need my denominator of 7. And then notice where the cursor is blinking. It's right there. I can't have it there. So I'm going to go to the right so I can have it right in the middle. I'm adding 1 and 2 over 7. So I'm going to put my 1 for my whole number. Then second function, n over d. 2, down, 7, to the right. Okay, great. And then we hit enter. Now, when I hit enter, my answer is a improper fraction. We didn't get our answer as a mixed number. In order to get my answer as a mixed number, we're going to need second function and this function right here where it says x 10 raised to the n. Now, if you look at the top of that function, notice you have n over d, and then we have the arrows, and notice you have the u n over d. So when we press second function and x 10 raised to the nth power, that is going to convert our improper fraction to a mixed number. Okay, so we're going to press second function that. Notice they put the 26 over 7, and they're going to do our conversion for us. Let's hit enter. And there we have it, 3 and 5 over 7. Now, if you were on the Tasc test and they wanted their answer as a decimal, this is your friend right here. If you press this, it converts your answer directly to a decimal. If you press it again, it'll take you back to your fraction, your improper fraction. Okay, let's try subtracting. So we have 2, second function, n over d, 4, down, 6, to the right. We're subtracting 1 for my whole number, second function, n over d, 1, down, okay, there's my 6, to the right, okay, and let's hit enter. My answer is 3 over 2, which is an improper fraction, but to get the mixed number, second function, and this function right here, and enter. Notice I get 1.5. Now if I want the decimal, right here, and you get 1.5. So as we're going along, you can stop the video and practice entering in the calculator. That will be quite helpful. This mini video is just adding and subtracting like fractions. You're going to need your fractions mostly for probability. And I have a video coming soon on probability, but before I can get to that, I need to review some basic skills on adding and subtracting fractions. I hope this video has been helpful. Good luck in your Tasc examination.